What did an elderly patient say that made you realize their family was trying to kill them? As a hospice nurse for 15 years, I've developed a sixth sense about families. Genuine grief versus performed sadness. But when an 84-year-old patient came under my care with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, I thought I was witnessing the gold standard of devotion. Her 3 adult children seemed perfect. Jason flew in from Seattle and rented an apartment nearby. Michelle quit her marketing job to coordinate care full-time. Kevin visited every evening, staying until she fell asleep. They brought flowers, played Cantonese opera, and read Chinese poetry. Michelle even learned to make her mother's signature kanji, spoon-feeding her with such tenderness it brought tears to my eyes. My patient was dying, rapidly losing independence, facing the terrifying decline into helplessness. Her children appeared to be her only comfort, her sole protection. What I didn't realize, the real threat wasn't cancer. It was the 3 people holding her hands. Everything changed in week 3. I arrived one morning and she had deteriorated dramatically. 2 days ago, she'd been sitting up, speaking clearly, laughing. Now she was barely responsive, skin gray, breathing shallow. It's happening faster than we expected, Michelle said, dabbing her eyes. The doctor said it happens sometimes. The cancer just accelerates. But something felt wrong. She looked less like advancing cancer and more like someone being sedated. I began investigating quietly. Michelle was meticulous about giving her morning juice personally, arriving at 7 a.m. sharp with a freshly blended smoothie. If I offered to help, she'd get territorial. No, mom likes when I make it. It's our special thing. I reviewed her vitals. Her blood pressure was dropping in a pattern that didn't match cancer. It matched insulin reactions, but she wasn't diabetic. Jason kept asking about the timeline. How long do these final stages usually last? Kevin mentioned estate planning. Michelle brought a notary, just in case mom wants to update anything. Then, 4 days into this decline, her hand suddenly grabbed my wrist while I changed her IV. Her grip was surprisingly strong. Her eyes opened, completely clear and lucid. She whispered something to me in Mandarin that made time stop for me. I knew enough Mandarin to know she said, "They think I don't know, but I know my lines." Then her eyes clouded and she slipped back. Lines? That phrase stopped me cold. During our first few days together before things got bad, she told me about her years as a stage actress. I know my lines. An actress would recognize a performance, even semi-conscious, even dying. Some part of her knew her children's devotion was staged. I watched Michelle prepare the juice differently now. How she angled her body to block the counter. How she glanced toward the door before pouring. How she insisted her mother drink every drop, getting angry when she could barely swallow. That evening, I told Dr. Smith I suspected an accidental insulin administration and convinced him to order a full toxicology panel. 2 days later, he called me into his office, face pale. Her blood shows massive insulin levels. She's not diabetic, correct? Never been diabetic. Then someone is giving her insulin. Enough to kill her. Dr. Smith called the police immediately. Within 3 hours, 2 detectives and an APS investigator were at her home. Michelle answered, her face the perfect mask of confused concern. "We need to speak with Mrs. Wong alone," Detective Reyes said, "and we need to search the premises. We have a warrant." I watched Michelle's mask crack for just a second. In Michelle's car, 12 empty insulin vials, syringes, and a medical journal with highlighted sections about insulin overdose symptoms versus cancer progression. In her purse, a new will dated 1 week prior, leaving the $4.3 million estate to the 3 children. It replaced the previous will, leaving most to her sister in Taiwan and charities. On Michelle's laptop, how much insulin to kill someone? Can insulin be detected after death? Untraceable ways to kill elderly parent. But the most damning evidence came from Jason's phone. Text messages between the siblings. Michelle 3 months ago. She's planning to leave everything to Aunt Lynn after everything we've done for her. Jason, there has to be a way to change her mind. Kevin, or change the will. Michelle 2 months ago. I have a plan, but we all have to commit, and we have to act like the perfect children. The kind where she dies peacefully at home, surrounded by family, before she can give away our inheritance. When Detective Reyes read these texts aloud with all 3 children present, Jason tried to run. Kevin collapsed into a chair. Michelle just stared, her mask finally gone. "Your mother spent her life in theater," Freya said to Michelle. She recognized a performance when she saw one. Even dying, she knew. My patient, who had been unconscious throughout, stirred. Her eyes opened slightly, looking directly at Michelle. In clear Mandarin, she said something I later had translated. "You were always a terrible actress. Too obvious. Your father would have been ashamed." All 3 were arrested on the spot for attempted murder, fraud, and elder abuse. She survived 14 more months, long enough to testify and see her children convicted. On her final day, she told me, "You gave me an encore." Michelle got 25 years. Jason got 20. Kevin got 12.